Welcome back to another episode of Getting Personal. I'm here today with Fonzy, officially our second cross-chain guest, the co-founder of Froggy Friends. How's it going today, Fonzy? It's really great to have you.
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
I always like to start off before we get into the project itself that you're working on and a bit about your personal journey. What's your perspective right now as a founder, like your sentiment when it comes to NFTs as we sit here today?
Yeah, I think in this market, the NFTs NFTs definitely taken a downturn. A lot of the attention is on other things going on in crypto.
Yeah.
Attention is kind of fractured between different chains as well, and so we've started to see some projects turn in the towel, and they've decided to not move forward. So you
Yeah.
kind of see the projects that have stuck around that are continuing, and so yeah, we're definitely one of those projects.
Nice. Yeah, it's been a we could say a rough couple of years, year and a half. Do you feel like we're coming out of that rough time? Do you see like are you feeling optimistic about the next 6 months to a year when it comes to
Oh
NFTs?
yeah, of
Yeah.
course, yeah, yeah. I tend to be optimistic when it comes to things. You have to be a little bit to keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Within the
Sure.
next 6 to 12 months, yeah, I think that we're gonna. I think that personally we're gonna make big strides with Froggy Friends, and then the space like, in general, I think is gonna also make some strides. We're in the pre bull market right now, so by 2025 we should, that's the projected date for a full bull run to happen. We've also had the Bitcoin halving, so
Mhm.
that's usually a marker in time. People know what happens after the Bitcoin halving, and so that, yeah, I think, yeah, within 6 to 12 months we should see a good bull run.
So we're in a good place. Let's talk about Froggy Friends. For those maybe hearing about Froggy Friends for the first time, what's the story? How did it start? What's the vision here for Froggy Friends?
Yeah, yeah. So the way I like to describe it is Froggy Friends is an entertainment brand. So you have built on this iconic green frog. So this green character, up until this point, hasn't really had a name, a backstory, and uh, and we haven't seen the characteristics of this frog. So now, we're with what we're about to roll out next month, you'll start to see a lot more character built up
Mhm.
in that frog, and that's one thing that we're looking forward to.
Well, why frogs?
You know what? It was actually, so my co-founder Mango and I acquired this company from
Okay.
the previous artist, and so we we chose this because it had all the, had the perfect recipe of traits for a project. It had just minted out. It had a community. It had great art and IP that we could build with. So that was over 2 years ago. We celebrated our second anniversary on March 18th, and so for 2 years we've been building this brand.
I was going to ask you because the project is built on Ethereum, right? The
Yes,
Genesis collection. You didn't
yes.
choose that, of course, because you said that you acquired it. Have you explored any other chains since you guys took over with Froggy Friends?
We've tried, we've had our experiments, and not all experiments have gone as planned. Some have failed, and that's okay. Like, there's, you're gonna when you run experiments, you're gonna try things. They're not always gonna succeed. So that's,
Yeah.
we understand that. So we've delved with Bitcoin ordinals when they were first coming out last summer. I explored what it potentially launching like a small ordinals collection for frogs, and and then we've also explored Solana, and we took away some learnings from those experiments that we're applying as we move forward.
I'd be curious to unpack that a little when you say you took away these learnings from these experiments, because like you say, the nature of experiments is that they could just fail, but we also
Mm-hmm.
learn a lot of things, right? So if you had to pick a couple of things that you learned through those experiments, what would they be?
Yeah, I think partnerships is a huge one. Partnerships before you even announce anything. Do all the we need to do all the legwork beforehand to talk with partners on those chains. Get get in touch with some kind of some kind of launch pad or like maybe like one of the top projects on the chain to be
Hmm.
able to have a big impact when we're migrating over or we're creating something new over there. That's one of the key learnings for us. So now, like moving forward, if we ever do something on a different chain,
Hmm.
it's going to be working with the veterans on that chain, so to speak.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You mentioned, well, it actually says on the Froggy Friends X account, I believe, or maybe your personal branding with Froggy Friends. Like you see Froggy Friends as building a brand, also building an IP, right? Would you say in Web3 from this character? Um, how do you see that playing out? And do you have you taken other projects as inspiration, like other people that have maybe laid some foundations for IP building? Yeah, I'd just love to pick your brains a little bit on IP building in Web3 basically and how you see that.
Yeah, there's a few projects actually that we take inspiration by. That's pudgy penguins, chimpers, and nouns. So,
Mhm.
uh, what Lucanets is doing with pudgy penguins is amazing. He's kind of laid the groundwork, laid a vision for pudgy penguins, and we're watching him execute in real time.
Yeah.
And so some of those steps that they've taken, those are some that we've also adopted into our vision map. Chimpers as well. They're putting in work. Chimpers, you always see them, creating new things and just they have like this energy around them that's like it's enticing. And then for nouns as well. Nouns was a surprise for me. I didn't know that much about nouns when they first came out, and I hadn't followed them closely, but recently I learned that they started building their IP as well, and they've created these two characters. Um, I think they're like ducks, like these two ducks with, and it was so funny because I was watching Instagram reels, and I noticed these two ducks, and their eyes were different. They
Yeah.
look like the nouns glasses, and I was like, "Wait a minute, is that nouns?" And then sure enough, I looked into it a little bit more, and it was confirmed that that's they're building their brand that way. So all three of those are are going that animation route,
Mhm.
and so that's those are inspiration for us as we build our brand as well through animations.
It's amazing how one trait you mentioned, the noun glasses, right? Can That's brand, right? Right there.
Yes.
Like
Oh,
you,
you can
you were
anyone
wearing
in can
brand.
tell. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just recognize it straight away. What would you say um, is that trait or that part of Froggy Friends that kind of stands out and that you really want to leverage to build this brand in that similar regard?
Yeah, yeah. For us, I think it's the head of the frog. It's
Uh-huh.
it's shaped in such a way where it's kind of unique to when you look at it. It looks different than other frogs, but of course, our um, our NFT art is not it's not suited for animations. So we've
Got
had to create like a custom version of the frog based on the image of the original Froggy Friends art, but creating a new character with that's that's easier to animate and give it different gestures, different expressions, and that character is I've actually shown a I've teased that character and I've shown a turnaround on my own Twitter account.
Is that the 3D render that's currently, I think, pinned to your account?
That's the 3D version because
Okay,
we have 2D frogs, 3D frogs, and pixel frogs. So this frog built for animations is a fourth variant.
gotcha, gotcha. And what about the holders, the NFT holders of Froggy Friends? How do they benefit from, let's say, an IP that's being
Yeah,
built like
yeah. That's funny. That's a question that comes up a lot. Like, how do
that?
I benefit from that? Well, the first thing I'd have to say for that is whenever you're part of a company that's in its early stages and they're building their brand, they're building their IP, like you have you're you're part of the like that's a rare opportunity. Um
Hmm.
what holders have right now with these brands, right? Chimpers, penguins, nouns, um they're in the second or maybe third year of that brand's conception. And so as it grows, they can be part of that. They can influence the brand as well. Like for us, we do want our holders to be able to contribute ideas towards animations and things of that nature. Um, Ultimately, what people prioritize most is monetary gains. How do they benefit
Yeah.
economically from this? And you know that in Web3, a lot of this is built on speculation and like buy the rumor, sell the news. And so um, when it comes to brand building, like for holders, you'll notice a trend in Web3 where an NFT project announces or hints that they're announcing collaborations with big Web2 companies. That makes the the NFT just rocket. And
Hmm.
we've seen that with some some projects over the years. Killer Bears with Netflix and Seth Green. There was rumors he was going to use. So at the time, Seth Green had a Bored Ape. He was talking publicly about using using his Bored Ape for an animated series on Netflix.
I
And
remember that.
because you know people can put two and two together. He's connected to Hollywood, he's connected to producers. He can pitch his idea and it can most likely get approved better than other people. People put that together, and then from there it just he lost his ape through a phishing scam, and he
Oh,
still
wow.
had his killer bear. So he was I I think he was like active in the killer bears community and representing, and that's when people just started speculating like like, oh, Seth Green is going to use his killer bear for a Netflix deal. It's going to get an animated series. They're going to killer bears is going to be all over Netflix, like, and so it just created this wildfire of rumors. And yeah, sure enough, you see the collection just rocket after that because of the rumors. Obviously, I don't want to take away anything from what they're building. They're a game company, very experienced game company, and they deserve everything that they've achieved for putting in the work. And so, uh, but that gives you a little bit of insights into like how the space works.
Yeah.
There's been other projects over the years where they announce collaborations with like a big Web2 company, and it just does wonders. So for us, obviously that we're no different. We're not prone to speculate, or we're not uh, immune from
Yeah.
speculation. So we'll
Hmm.
continue doing our brand building, and we'll try to incorporate the community's feedback and communities ideas as well as we build, so we can build together and make people feel included. And then from there, you know, try to secure some Web2 partnerships, and that's, I think that's what drives the speculation. So
And do you see a day where you have physical products and stuff like that as well for Froggy Friends?
yeah, so the way that I see things playing out is, first we go. So let me talk about the animation studio. So
Yeah, sure.
on our vision map, we have a section for um, the animation studio, and so this is a new venture that we're starting. We've already begun the groundwork for this, starting early next month in June 2024 is when we're going to start releasing our animations, and we're targeting all of the social platforms, so Instagram, TikTok,
Nice.
GIPHY, etc. And we've hired an animator, lead animator, who has 15 years of experience building animations, and then we have our art team to support and create these animations on a weekly basis. So for us, that's how we're going to build this brand, and we're going to over the next 12 months, we're going to continuously create content and have the world, like, introduce the world to the frog. And it's actually a couple. There's a male and a female frog. It's a
Uh-huh.
green male frog, pink female frog, and they're going to be shown together on these animations. They're going to be doing couple things, and um, they'll have different characteristics, different expressions. So we'll introduce the world to them, and later down the road, once we've built up a solid following across all of our platforms, and we start to really we're creating this global brand, that's when we can start to introduce physical merch. Um,
Yeah.
you know, the, it's funny because I was talking to our lead artist, and he had published books before, so he created his own children's books. He published them, and then they received some recognition, and so he's gone through that process before, and he had always said, usually you roll out the books first. You roll out the books, you introduce the people to your characters through the books. Then once you've built a good following, that's when you release the merch. So there's that. But in our approach, it's the way I see it is, books are a medium to introduce the characters. So is video content and short reels. So that's our approach, and so we'll eventually start to release plushies and toys and all that, but that will come down the road. Um, and we're going to
But
focus on putting out great content first.
yeah, that's the name of the game, right? It's content and also breaking outside of the X bubble and going cross platform. And I think with a character like Froggy, I mean, we've seen it with Pudgy Penguins, right? You can really, with these animations, with these characters that you guys are developing, reach new audiences, right? That really like the character more so than all the Web3 stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's like um the possibilities are endless, because we're we're targeting people outside of our niche. Web3 is very small. Like,
Oh,
it's very, very small compared to the we have probably, I forgot what the number was. It was like 10 to 20,000 active daily people. Like, so our niche is very small, but the world outside uh, that connects with these characters is expansive.
yeah.
So um,
Yeah.
yeah, we see an opportunity there to introduce a character that people can fall in love with. And it's funny because last night I was talking to Yummy, the lead artist, and I was telling him, like, the more I see these characters, the more I'm falling in love with them. They're so cute, and then I can just picture what it's gonna look like, 3 to 6 months down the line, when they have so much. character. Like they have so much expression, and so yeah, it's but it's going to take a lot of work, right? We have a team of over 15 people now that are going to be working on this, and so we're gonna have to put in a lot of work to get to where we want to be.
Oh yeah, I can see that. But the fact that you've stuck it out until now, right, through the last year and a half, which hasn't been easy. Like you say, a lot of projects have packed up or just not been able to continue. You now have an action plan and you have a team and a vision, and I think that's, it's just it's just really exciting, man. It's exciting to see it for sure. As I look at the Mr. Froggy on your hoodie there, I'm looking at
Yeah.
you, but I'm looking at Froggy Friend as well.
Oh yeah. Let me move it to the side.
But let's talk about you for a second. Before Froggy Friends, I see you're a full stack software engineer, right? What
Yeah.
leads you into Web3? What leads you to Froggy Friends? Like, what shaped you to
Mhm,
get to
mhm.
where you are today?
Let me take you back to 2020. Yeah. So 2020, the pandemic hit. We were all inside. We were all trading stocks. We were trading GameStop and AMC, and we all witnessed that Black Swan event where the Robinhood app stopped people from buying stock, and they only allowed people to sell the stock. And
Yeah.
so um, that was that was really me getting into trading. Before that, I had delved into stock options, and I was trying to trade with those. I had joined a group that was trading, trading stocks, and so I would work with them or be part of their group. Um, 2020 and this, like, GME to the moon type of thing happened, and so it kind of like reignited my interest in trading,
Hmm.
and um, so like over the next year for 2020, I was I was trading and doing things in stock market and stuff like that. Um, Now I'm no big investor. I don't claim to be, and this was just for fun and just with a small group of friends. 2021 came, and that's when NBA Top Shot came out. So my friend was really big into it. I was still watching on the sidelines, but I was interested,
Hmm.
and um, then he finally convinced me to start trading NFTs, and that's when we started trading on Rarible. This was before OpenSea became popular. So Rarible, my first NFT that I purchased was a rug. It was a sophisticated scammer at the time. We thought that it was legitimate, and legitimate artwork from this artist called Cause. And so what they did was, at the time, like, Rarible only had like a few verified influencers, so like Mark Cuban, Lindsay Lohan, like, and then like five other people that had the blue check mark.
Yeah.
uh, Obviously we're noobs, we don't know what to look for, and what the scammers did was they printed out these fake Cause NFTs, and they started sending them to Mark Cuban, Lindsay Lohan, all these verified accounts. So we thought it was legitimate, and aped into it, got rugged, and that was my first experience trading NFTs.
Welcome to Web3, or welcome to NFT trading, or
Yeah,
minting.
yeah, yeah. But I stuck around, and then I started. I traded some other things. I traded penguins when they first came out. I traded cool cats when they first came out. I missed Bored Apes by like a couple months. By the time I saw them, they were 12 ETH 3 years ago, which I think they're at now, but they're undervalued.
Yeah.
And um, so trading eventually got me curious about the underlying technology. Being a software developer, I was interested in, like, okay, well, how does this run? What does this run on? What programming languages does it use? Like, how do the heck do you deploy a smart contract? So then I started learning all of that, and then by the fall of 2021 is when I started helping people launch projects. So I actually was developing minting contracts and minting pages for for small projects to launch, and that's how I
Cool.
got my foot in the door into Web3. From there, Froggy Friends was actually one of those projects that I developed. So I developed a smart contract. It was, although it was in more of like a client contractor role. Um, I was set to build the contract, build the minting page, and then move on to my next job. But then the opportunity presented itself to actually acquire the IP and then build the brand with the community, and I decided to take it.
And here we are today with this vision. Is it, you call it a vision board or a vision map
So
that's
it's a
coming out?
vision map. Yeah,
Vision map, yeah.
it's a vision map. So it's different than a traditional roadmap. Roadmap will have like a checklist of items, and
Hmm.
there will be some expectation that you kind of follow that roadmap, and you complete each items in subsequently in order. Vision map is different. It's these are the different aspects of Froggy Friends that we're looking to build out. So we have, our gaming aspect. We have our tadpoles community. We have um, portals. This concept of portals that we're looking to release, and then our animation studio, which I talked about, and then hibernation, which we've already released. So these are all the different like aspects of Froggy Friends that we want to put together on this map so people can reference it.
Nice. And if you had to name your biggest challenge since you acquired Froggy Friends, what would it be?
I think the biggest challenge has been working with low funding. That's been a big challenge. Um, I'm just I'm looking at what we have like now compared to what we had, um, the position that we're in now versus the position we were in last summer, and it's day and night. We so we launched our tadpole collection. From that, we were able to raise about 100K, and with that 100K now, I'm able to hire people, hire an animator, bring on additional developers,
Hmm.
really build out the team. I mentioned we have a team of 15, and be able to put the people in place to build out what I have for our vision. And last summer around this time, like I didn't have that opportunity, and we didn't have the we frankly we didn't have any funding like um,
Yeah, I mean,
for
you acquired Froggy Friends, so I imagine you either paid for it or you were given it, but you didn't have the mint funds, right? You didn't have a treasury. So you've kind of been building up to the tadpole and somehow managed to, finance the vision now, which is amazing.
yeah, that's always been the challenge. Early on we did have some funding, but like every NFT project, we um, we minted an other side deed, and we got burned by gas. So um, that gave us a big hit, and then we also made some investment choices with the treasury to um, to purchase things like ApeCoin, and that didn't go so well. So there was decisions that were made that I thought were good decisions at the time that kind of burned us. And so myself being a developer, I felt like I had to do everything myself. I had to you
Mm.
build everything out on my own time. That was really our only option that I thought at that time. um, I could develop these things for free, and I could develop all this utility for the collection without it costing us much. And it's just a matter of my time. So
Yeah.
that's when we I built a shop. I built like a studio where you can like customize and change your frogs. Um, we commissioned a 2D and 3D and pixel artist to create variants of the frog, and then I attached that to the metadata. So there was a lot of like technical work early on that I built for the community to kind of contribute what I could. But like I
Mm-hmm.
said, now that we have funding, it's different, and um, our 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 funding is roughly for like 1 year of runway, and so we have to make the most of this. But I do feel good about the position that we're in right now. We have we have talented team members to help us build out these animations. I think we
Yep.
can. I was talking to the team and I was telling them, we as soon as we start putting out, high quality content, um, it's just a matter of being consistent. And you only need that one video to go viral for the trajectory of the brand to
Yeah.
change. So,
Absolutely.
that's our goal. We're just going to put out consistent, high quality content.
Nice, man. And if we could dream a little, where would you like to see yourself and Froggy Friends, let's say in 5 years?
Yeah, yeah. So metrics wise, I'd like to see our our Instagram account with over somewhere in that 2 to 3 million follower range, and then I'd like to see our other accounts as well. In I'd like to hit within the next 5 years. I'd like to hit 1 million followers on the other accounts too, like TikTok
Mm-hmm.
and GIPHY. GIPHY, we're currently over 50 million views. I think it was like 56 million views. So that one, I do think we can. Um, I think we can hit 1 billion views on that within 5 years. Yeah, 2 to 3 billion views. I think is a good amount, and um, so those are our targets. And the nice thing about this is that they're quantifiable, right? So we can tell people, hey, these are our targets, like, and then you can go see the targets too. You go to our Instagram account, you'll see our follower account.
And what does that convert into when it comes to Froggy Friends? Like, what would you be doing in 5 years? What is the Froggy Friend brand doing in your wildest dreams?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, I've kind of touched upon it. Um, Building a team, like wildest dreams, like everything goes perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Is we have a full animation team. We've put out so much high quality content that it's caught the attention of a major studio, and they're able to give us a shot, to produce like an animated series, and that could be, you know really any major studio. That would be a dream come true.
Nice. Well, I really hope you and the team pull off that dream. Um, is there anything we haven't touched on today, or I haven't asked that you'd love to touch on?
Yes. So this concept of portals.
Yes.
Portals are, you could think of it like your entry or your home base to move to different chains. So our Froggy Friends are omni-chain. They're called omni-chain non-fungible tokens, or ONFTs for short. They're built on layer zero, so
Okay.
they have the ability to hop across different chains. And right
Nice.
now, it's only Ethereum. We have not opened the portal, but our holders have been expressing that they want the portals to open. And so some of those include, well, the one that people are asking for right now is Blast. They want a portal to Blast. So we obviously, we want to get that done for them. Other portals are going to be like Base. right? Blast base. Basically, any Ethereum layer twos are available using layer zero. If you go to layer zero documentation, like there's a whole list of chains that are supported,
Hmm.
and those are all chains that we can open portals to. And our website, froggyfriends.io, will have in the side menu will have a place for the portal, so you can go to it, and then you can bridge your NFT across to another chain.
I love that. It's interchain travel with
Yeah,
with your
yeah,
frog.
interstellar.
I love that.
We're gonna hire Matthew
And why?
McConaughey.
Yeah, and why would for someone listening in, why would someone want to bridge their Froggy Friend or their NFT to base or to blast? Like, what would the reasons be for that? Just to explore, or are there specific reasons that people would do that?
Yeah, so for Blast right now, there's a big incentive. If you are trading Blast NFTs, you can earn Blast Gold, and Blast Gold is essentially convertible to blur points. And don't quote me on that, but I've heard that 25% of the blur season two or season what the latest season, whatever season they're on, like
Hmm.
25% of those rewards are allocated for Blast. So they've put out, so that's the incentive, right? For people
Okay,
to be able to take their frogs to Blast, trade them, um, allow other people to trade the frogs, and then farm the Blast Gold. I
gotcha.
I envision that's probably what's going to happen for the other chains too. So there's another chain comes out with some incentives, some economic incentives. We'll probably open a portal for that, so our holders can benefit off of that and earn those incentives.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Everything at the end of the day is driven by economics, like
Yeah.
everything. So you got to keep that in mind when you're building stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. Anything else you'd like to mention before we wrap this up? It's been a real pleasure, man. I appreciate you for taking the time.
Yeah, yeah. I did want, yeah. So I want to touch on the topic of tadpoles
Yeah.
before we head out. So for tadpoles, we yeah. So this should be posted then. So we're looking at migrating our tadpole collection to Base. So
Okay.
currently it's on Ethereum. It was one of the first ERC 404s to come out, um, and we there's a few things about ERC 404 that are better suited on a layer two with cheaper gas fees, and that's like trading. Right, the cost of trading at ERC 404 is more expensive than a 721, and it's just that the gas fees are higher and they're noticeable, especially when the gas fees are high. That's when our holders bring it up, and they show us like how much they paid for gas. And And so if you take the same 404 contract and you deploy it on base, uh, you know, you're going to see like 10 times fewer gas fees. It's the trading experience is going to be much better, where
Mhm.
you could trade the tokens in and out. You don't have to worry about the gas fees. You can, and the way 404 works is like they're fractional NFTs. So you can purchase fractions of a tadpole until you have a full token. Once you have the full token, it mints the NFT and you get the profile picture for it. So that's the primary reason we're moving over. And then we're going to be partnering with another brand in Web3 to do this. So, like I said before, we've learned our lesson. When we're going to go somewhere else, we're going to migrate somewhere else. We got to have some partnerships in place.
Nice. Well, really, man, it's been a pleasure. It's inspiring to see how far you've come. You know, even with the hard times, you're in a good position. I'm excited for the future of Froggy Friends and just that experience or that community building around IP. Right? It's a very unique opportunity for you, for the team, and for Froggy Friends community. So, yeah, I wish you guys all the best and thanks for taking the time today.
Of course. Thanks.